We got to talk about the reflecting pool because, of course, mainstream media, namely CNN, the Communist News Network, has had more coverage on the reflecting pool than they did on Joe Biden's cognitive failures. I'll say that. I'll be nice. Because, of course, it's biased news. So anytime that they think they can get one up on Trump, they magically have all of this coverage on something. And now that is the reflecting pool, because as you guys saw there, the reflecting pool now is filled with algae even after all of the cleanup and repairs that Uncle Trump made. And now there's tears in the coating. I think they're cuts. Looks like cuts to me. You guys can let me know how you feel about it in the comments. I mean, that looks like some pretty thick stuff to just be peeling. I mean, look at that. That doesn't look like that just peeled up. That looks like that was cut and then pulled. You know what I mean? Like that's way too thick to just be magically peeling off of the bottom, So yeah, I want to talk about it a little bit and show you guys a little bit of the coverage from CNN, because this is hilarious. They think they got one. When this is what they're running with, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty darn good. Okay, let's hop into the first clip that I have for you guys. Check it out.
Hope to turn the Lincoln Memorial's reflecting pool what he called the American flag blue. That's the color he wanted for the water, but right now it's green as heck. The more than $14 million renovation was completed just over a week ago, and yesterday, crews of parks workers were spotted dumping gallons of hydrogen peroxide in there to try to get rid of the growth. One worker tells CNN it will take, quote, an entire lifetime to fix, but this issue is not new. CNN's Betsy Klein joining me now. Betsy, this is certainly not the color they wanted. There is already criticism about spending this kind of money on this particular project. What are you learning?
Well, Sarah, it's been just over a week since that $13 million renovation project to drain, repair, paint, and refill the 6.5 million gallon Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool was completed. But almost immediately, a major problem came to the surface. That is algae, the pool growing increasingly murky and green by the day. And CNN even took an independent sample of this water last week. We consulted with a pool store. It showed that phosphate levels were far higher than what's recommended to keep algae at bay. And since then, it only got greener. Our colleague Sunlen Serfati spoke with an algae expert, and he offered an assessment. Listen.
We're in Washington, D.C. in the summertime. This is a shallow pool with stagnant water, abundant sunlight. That it creates a situation where opportunistic algae can really take advantage of the situation. If there's already some phosphate fertilizer in the water, that's really opportunistic, especially for the blue-green algae that can fix.
Bing, 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 bing. How did the fertilizer get in the water? Why are the levels of fertilizer so high in that water? What do you guys think? What do you think? We're gonna come back to that. I promise. We're gonna what did Jen Psaki used to say? We're gonna circle back. Okay, we're gonna circle back to that. But here is another new segment on the reflective. I'm telling you guys, they are. This is their holy grail. It's bad, bro, when they're trying their hardest to go after Trump by covering algae being in the reflecting pool. It's bad, but here it is. Here's another segment.
Well, there is something in the water, the reflecting pool water, that is. Less than 2 weeks after a nearly $15 million renovation wrapped up, the water in front of Washington's Lincoln Memorial is green again. Parts of the historic pool's new paint job have even been peeling away. But the Trump administration, which granted the no-bid renovation, by the way, says all that green you're seeing just isn't true. In a post on social media, the Interior Department, which oversees the reflecting pool, claims the water is, quote, crystal clear. But CNN went out ourselves yesterday to see it. And Arsalan Sarfati, as you see, dipped a bottle into the pool, filling it with, as you can see, water that has a clear green tint. Just earlier this month, President Trump said this renovation.
Wow. So they actually did some journalism. Somebody said something and they went and checked it out. I wonder why they didn't want to do that when Nick Shirley was talking about all the fraud. I wonder why they haven't done that with all of the coverage of Skid Row and paying people to vote. But all of a sudden now when there's something negative about Trump, he says something. Wait, hey, stop everything. We got to go check this out. We got to make sure it's on a lot. You see how bogus this news coverage is? I wouldn't even call this news, but because I want to touch on something in one of these clips.
Would last up to a century after it was completed.
And you're going to have something you're going to be very proud of, and it'll last for 50 to 100 years before you have to do anything with it. Very strong, powerful substance that we use. And we picked a color called American Flag Blue. We had color choices. Then before it was just gray, it was a color of concrete and stone. So it's going to be really special.
All right, CNN's Tom Foreman joins us now live from the reflecting pool, our chief algae correspondent for the day. Tell us what you're seeing out there, Tom.
Well, the White House really wanted this to be a centerpiece of the attraction for tourists as the 4th of July holiday came up. But take a look at this. This is the most recent trouble spot people have been focusing on.
Remember they said the water was filled with algae? Now look at it. Now look at it. Now, I've had the opportunity to be around swimming pools, backyard swimming pools and whatnot. This looks not completely clear, but this definitely looks like on the way to being cleared up. And you can see, where was it? Before this, before they wanted to go dip the thing in. Where was that image? Right here. The algae is dead. It's sitting on the bottom, and they're vacuuming it up or brushing it towards the middle. Okay, you can see over here, clearly see the bottom versus this. So, was he lying? The water is technically clear. The algae's sitting on the bottom. You can see where they've swept versus where they haven't. That tells you everything you need to know. There's a clear divide right there. Clear divide. So yeah, even in their news coverage, they're lying about it. Oh, look, we dipped it in the water. Yeah, you dipped it before they cleaned it. And the fact that you're even talking about this, and here's another image. Let's see. Where was that?
The promise was made that this was not going to be a problem. Now they have dozens of people out here working just around all throughout the.
Look, I mean, y'all see it for yourselves. I mean, y'all get in the comments. Let me know. Does this look like clear water to you? Looks pretty darn clear to me. I can see the bottom, and I can see a clear line where they have swept versus where they haven't. Looks pretty darn clear to me. So, even in the midst of, leftists sabotaging the reflecting pool, they're getting it cleaned, but right back up. Because as you heard, somebody dumped fertilizer in that water.
Sabotage it is in that reflecting pool. Turns out I was right.
We're going to scoop up a water sample to see if we can get this tested.
Thanks to CNN backing old Stinchfield up, it turns out they tested the water. And in the water of that reflecting pool, that algae-ridden green reflecting pool, it was filled with phosphates. Where do phosphates come from? Phosphates come from fertilizer, which means most likely someone dumped fertilizer into the reflecting pool to cause the algae bloom just to make President Trump look bad. This is from CNN.
CNN independently took the sample of water and consulted with a pool store that regularly tests water to help read the results. It showed phosphate levels far higher than what is recommended to keep algae at bay based on estimates for a pool that holds 6.5 million gallons of water.
Yeah.
So they just told the story themselves. Somebody sabotaged that whole thing by dumping fertilizer in there and cutting some of the liner that was put in there. That was some pretty thick stuff. So I mean, I don't see it just randomly peeling up by itself. But as I always say, y'all get in the comments and let me know if you agree or disagree. You even had people advocating for the algae. Some of these leftists out there. Look at this. Team algae. You know, absolutely crazy stuff, man. And the stuff has gotten so out of hand that we've had to put 24-hour security at the reflecting pool because of these leftists trying to sabotage it by dumping things like fertilizer in the water. Hour cleaning. It's kind of what you see right there. But then you also have park police. Because of these crazy leftists. Oh, well, Trump did it, so I want to make sure Trump looks bad, so I'm going to sabotage this. Ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. But not only that, something else that they did, and this is as clear as day that, you know, leftists are putting things in the water and doing all types of crazy stuff. So, some leftists carved 8647 into the algae sitting at the bottom of the reflecting pool. Oh, I know that was quick. You guys can see that there. 8647. For those of you that aren't familiar with what that means, it basically means put Uncle Trump in a casket, basically. Okay, I'm trying to keep it PG here, but yeah, these people are crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. They hate this man so much they're willing to sabotage a reflecting pool over Trump. Yeah, that's the level of Trump derangement that we have reached. Mind-boggling. And CNN is running nonstop coverage over algae being in the reflecting pool because they think they could, hurt Trump's or Republicans' chances in these midterms. We'll see how well that one works out for them. Anyway, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. If you agree, if you disagree, why or why not. Let me know. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.